Welcome back to Chin Music, our baseball show at TalkNorth.com. We are coming to you from the Aquarius Home Services Studios.
Scott for Aquarius. Summer's all about fun, not flickering lights and faulty plumbing. From fixing that runaway toilet and not so hot water heater to installing generators for whole home backup power, Aquarius has your back. Right now, get $98 off any electrical or plumbing repair. Fast, friendly, and ready to rescue your summer from household chaos. Aquarius. Local, trusted, family-owned, and earning the right to be recommended. Schedule today at AquariusHomeservices.com.
Hey, it's Mark Rosen with a reminder to tune into my podcast, Rosen Sports Monday, every week here on Talk North Sports. We cover the gamut from the broadcasting industry to the sports personalities in town. So don't miss it. Rosen Sports Monday here on Talk North Sports.
Presented to you by Giggly THC Beverages and OnX Hunt. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Thanks to all of our listeners. If you like the show, please subscribe to your favorite podcast app. It's free. It's the easiest way to listen. Check out TalkNorth.com for all of our other shows. We have every sport covered. We have outdoor content. We have some fun stuff that you might not expect. But we have the best sports lineup in town. So go check it out. We also recently did a Talk North Sports Report at Parlay Kitchen and Bar downtown Minneapolis, the new sports bar. We had Rebecca Brunson, Steve Janicek, John Krasinski, LaVelle Neal, Mark Rosen there. Check that out as well, and we do appreciate it. Let's get to the big story. Byron Buxton is playing like the superstar we all thought he might be. Let's start with you, LaVelle. You and I have been covering Byron for a long time. I spent a lot of time with him in his hometown of Baxley, Georgia, in Atlanta, at minor league ballparks across America. He's always been a nice gentleman. So it's heartening to see him play well. What do you make of this latest strong stretch from Buck?
It's funny you brought that up because I was thinking about this the other day. I remember how Torrey Hunter was such a much better hitter, such a more knowledgeable hitter once he got to his 30s and really extended his career, understanding better how pitchers are, what they're trying to do to him and approach him. And I'm wondering if Buck is headed in that direction now where the years of experience are finally paying off for him in terms of understanding what to look for, understanding what to lay off of, and just knowing himself, better than he did 2, 3, 4 years ago. Because he's hitting the ball hard to center field. He doesn't seem to be as pull happy as he gets into those phases once in a while. And I believe that he leads all Major League Baseball center fielders in OPS. I believe. Yesterday's game against Cincinnati was crazy because I believe it was the 5th inning and Buck was sitting on 10 total bases through 5 innings. He had 2 at-bats with a shot at tying Kirby Puckett's record of 14 total bases for the most in the game in Twins history. So I just got me thinking about the lineage of outfielders and guys in center field and thinking about Torrey and wondering if Buck it's reached a point now where the talent and the knowledge and the health have come together to where he can be this punishing as an offensive player.
Yeah, I think all of that is right, and I'm not really sure, what it is exactly. Whether he is looking for pitches better, or if he understands what pitchers are trying to do to him better. What I have seen with him, whatever the reason, the result is that he has always been really good at just about anything in the strike zone. You throw him something in the middle of the plate, it almost doesn't matter what the pitch is. He has great rips at stuff in the cookie zone. And what has gotten him in trouble in the past, where he's not getting as many of those those fat strike pitches to hit, is because early in counts he has charged after pitches that are really hard to hit. So I know you guys can have this image in your mind where he walks up there, stands in the box. First pitch is a high velocity fastball, shoulder high, and he swings and misses that. Now he's 0-1, and the bat kind of derails from there. Or a ball well inside, as LaVelle, you mentioned, he likes to pull the ball. The ball inside is tempting, pitch inside is tempting, but too far inside to hit, but he, swings and, breaks his bat or fouls it off or swings and misses, whatever it is. Or slider down and away. He was looking fastball, wants to pull it, slider down and away, swing and miss badly, 0-1 again. And there was just so many of those kinds of streaks. And I don't know which one of the things or all of them you mentioned, LaVelle, this is what's happening with Buck. What I do know is that he's getting more pitches. And I don't mean, cookie fastballs in the middle, whether he's always been a great off-speed strike hitter. You throw him a slider strike, you throw him a changeup strike, he's on it. You throw him a fastball in the middle of the plate, he's on it. And he's getting more of those. And I think it's because he's not 0-1 all the time. And for whatever reason, or any of the reasons or different ones that you mentioned, LaVelle, that's where he's maybe maturing as a hitter. What I do know is that he's having multiple at-bats now in consecutive games where he's getting cookies to hit and he's not missing them.
Yeah, he's just so. That's exactly right. When he stays in the zone, when he doesn't swing outside the zone. Let's face it. A lot of times when Byron's in a bad streak, he's getting himself out, and pitchers don't have to throw strikes to get him out.
He's always getting himself out, Jim. Yeah. That's exactly right. He doesn't. And pitchers have very little to get him out with,
right?
Except for throwing it outside the zone.
Let's talk about where this Buxton season could get to if he stays healthy. Also, one personal note, if you hear this in time, Friday night, my band is playing at Licks after the Twins game. We'll start 9:30 or later, depending on when the Twins let out. We'll play to about 12:30. Stop by if you get a chance. So I wrote about it for the Friday paper and at startbeating.com. Buxton is somewhat on pace to become the Twins' first 30-30 player. And listen, he could hit, if he hit 40 home runs and 20 steals, that's actually a lot better than being a 30-30 player. We just kind of like round numbers. They're fun to talk about. But, he's on pace to hit 30 home runs. He has 12 steals. He'd have to stay healthy and do some things to get to 30 steals. But just the fact that is in the realm of possibility, and he's playing day games after night games, this is kind of what we've all been waiting for. What is the ultimate high end for Buxton if he stays healthy this year, LaVelle?
That's a good one here. I mean, he's sitting on 15 home runs now and 12 stolen bases. If he can stay healthy the rest of the year, he's got a great shot of definitely getting the 30 home runs. Can he get the 30 stolen bases? Not sure of that. The thing about Buck too, although it's changed a little bit now because I've seen him draw some walks, is that he doesn't get on first. He doesn't get the first base enough to steal. Right. When Buck touches the ball, it's a double, a triple, or a home run. And he's not known for being a big walk guy. So the opportunities for him to steal bases aren't there. Now, batting leadoff helps because if he does get the first, he doesn't have to worry about that's just one time a game, actually. But still, he doesn't have to worry a lot about traffic on the bases. So I don't know if he can get the 30 steals. That would be really, really impressive to me if he could do that. I'm enjoying this version of Buxton. And yes, I just checked. He is leading all center fielders in OPS, and he's fourth in slugging and on base percentage too among center fielders. So he should at least be in the All-Star game. 30-30. I mean, it would be a fun prop bet. I mean, if I'm in Vegas and there's good odds, I would probably throw a few bucks in on Buck being a 30-30 guy. But I think it's going to be pretty close.
So I said 2 weeks ago here with us that that Buck was going to get to 30-30, and in my opinion, if he did, they'd win the division. But for the fact that they lost Pablo Lopez. I think if their pitching had stayed intact, and Buck goes 30-30, they win the division. It remains to be seen. I think you both are right. Whether he can get to 30 steals. I mean, I think a 30-20 or a 35-20 is just fine. I think we're going to see something, that special out of him this year. Knock on wood that he stays as healthy as and feeling as good as he does right now. whether or not he gets to some significant number of steals is really on him. And the reason I say that is because he'll get to first base enough, and it's just a question of whether he. I still think there's a little bit of hey, things are going well. Why would I slide into second base and hurt my knee again or something? He's probably got a little bit of reluctance. I would like to see him just, go for it. He gets on first base and just steal second. Just go ahead and do it. And the second thing I'd like to see him do is if he's not getting on first base, he hits a lot of doubles, just go ahead and learn how to steal third base. He doesn't like to do it. I think he's got one, which is inconceivable to me that he's stolen third base one time in his career. I think that's what I saw. And it's inconceivable. It's, the great ones. I grew up in LA watching the Dodgers and I saw Maury Will steal third base at will. If he was on second base and there were less than two out, he was going to be on third base in a second. And Lou Brock was that way. Ricky Henderson was that way, although I didn't see him steal third as much as those older guys. But I just think Buck, he doesn't have to steal a lot of bases. He should steal whenever it would really help the club. But if he had the mindset that he wanted to, 30-30 I don't think it would be a problem at all. I think it would be a foregone conclusion.
And you bring up a great point. Obviously, the throw to third base is slightly shorter for a catcher, but that's offset by the fact that you can get a running lead, basically. And with Buxton's speed, if he takes off for third base and they throw behind him, he still might beat the throw.
Well, that's true. And it's, the spin around pickoff move is not that effective. I think he can react to that if he sees it. He doesn't need to be running necessarily. He needs to have that, that secondary lead like they do at first base where you jump off with the pitch. He just needs to start that, a little bit early and be right about that. And if he's wrong, I think he can get, if the guy spins around, I think he can get back. So if you give Buck two hops, he takes his lead, the pitcher checks him, he looks at the plate. If Buck takes two hops and a guy goes to the plate, he's safe. He's safe. He doesn't even need to be running. He just needs to have those two hops and be right about that, and it's all over.
So two things here. I don't know how Twins or baseball in general is going to allow someone to just assault third base in this day and age. I'm sure all the stat geeks are going to come up with numbers saying no. I shudder to think, because I wrote about Ricky Henderson when he passed away. I talked to Paul Mahler about him, and we both had a discussion about would Ricky be allowed to steal third base in today's game, and we both thought it'd be restricted a little bit. Mahler said if he was Ricky's manager, he'd be like, "Go man, go." But the other thing too is I'm looking at just some quick calculations. Byron Buxton has 105 stolen bases in his career and 117 attempts. All right. That is an 89.7% success rate. That's pretty damn good. So, that's an argument for giving him a chance to assault third base if he wants to. So, if he could get that sort of green light in today's day and age, I don't know. That's a good question for Rocco, to see how he would feel about, letting Buck, attack third base. So, but man, you look at that success rate in his career, you start thinking, well, man, maybe you should let him try to get the third a couple of times.
And listen, analytics do rule the game, and analytics aren't wrong; they're facts. But I do think if you want to inject the human element, and this is a great topic for Roy, is there something to be gained by having those kind of aggressive plays spark your team emotionally? And if you have Bucks running to third base, every once in a while somebody's going to throw the ball in the left field and he's going to score. There are some added benefits to doing it, but what does it do for a team's energy level and intensity? Does that matter at all?
I think it does. I think it's exciting. It's like hitting a triple. It's one of the most exciting plays in baseball. You watch a guy that can really run like Buck. When he hits a ball that you think, might be a triple, you're not really watching the outfielders go after the ball. You're watching him accelerate around the bases. I mean, it's just exciting as hell. And I think as a teammate, I would love to see that. I like the sense of your team being and your player and your team being in control. I like the sense of this disruptive nature of that. I think it's demoralizing, if you can't keep a guy from taking the next base when he wants to. I saw Ricky Henderson. It is somewhat demoralizing another team, and it's exciting to your own, to your own guys. And I think there is, something to that. And I think with this, Bomba squad, okay, don't steal third. You steal second if you want at a 90% success rate, but, don't bother to steal third. I mean, somebody's going to go deep in a second, right? But with this lineup, and with Buck being the star of this team the way he is, the igniter of this club, I think it makes a huge amount of sense. I mean, we saw him how many times this year, and I can hear in my mind's ear, I can hear Twins fans all the times they run the contact play at third base and the guy's throwing out the plate, and I can just hear Twins fans go, "Why do you do that? Why do you run into that out?" And there's a reason for the contact play, and again, it's odds that guys have to make perfect defensive plays and all that kind of stuff. But with Buck, how about, I forget when it was, a week or so ago, Buck ran a contact play, slides head first. Umpire, I think he called him out and then they reversed call. He was clearly safe, head first slide. And it was exciting. I mean, it was the first time the contact play had worked in a month for the Twins, it seems like. And there's a lot of ways. Everybody knows, I think, how many more ways you can score from third than you can score from second. And, with this Twins offense, I think that extra 90 feet makes a difference. It would make a difference.
Well said. Hey, I want to let you know real quickly, we're going to get to more of this. We have other Twins topics to talk about. We'll also do our Booze and Blue segment at the end. Right now, though, I want to tell you about Giggly THC Beverages, GIGLI.com. I'm drinking them all the time. Use the promo code Giggly North to get a discount on your first order. And then if you just go to the Giggly website or you follow them on social media, you'll see specials all the time. I just love this stuff. Blood orange or margarita, pineapple mojito, raspberry ginger mule, blueberry lemonade. Those are the ones I drink the most. My wife drinks the Arnold Palmer version of the tea. There's also a raspberry tea. There's also seltzers. There are other things at the website if you go check them out, including snacks. But that's what I go to. And I just love on a weeknight, I can drink something that tastes like a cocktail that's made of fruit juice, low ingredient, low calorie, good for you, and you'll wake up feeling great in the morning. Actually, it helps me sleep. So I get not only do I not have a hangover, I usually sleep better when I have the stuff. Sometimes it even works as a muscle relaxant when I'm dealing with some kind of a muscle pain. So I just love it for my life. Check it out, giggly.com, promo code GigglyNorth. And you'll find something you like, I guarantee it. Thanks also. I actually want to tell you more about Onyx Hunt and Onyx Fish. The weather's warming up. That means it's time to put your augers away and it's time to grab the boat. Let Onyx Fish help you find the next best bite. The Fish app offers the most comprehensive fishing tool for increasing your success. Use the Fish app to find new places to fish and sort lakes by species, abundance, trophy, and keeper potential. Onyx Fish also shows you hot spots, lake-by-lake regulations, and private and public land ownership information. Download Onyx Fish on the App Store or go to onyxmaps.com/fish. Get more information about the app that is changing the game. All right, let's finish up the Buck conversation here. It's been really since Morneau, I guess. It's been since Morneau that the Twins have won an MVP award. What are the realistic chances of Buck keeping himself or placing himself in that conversation? Let's start with Roy on that one.
Well, he's going to win it if they win the division, because if they don't win the division without him sustaining what he's got going on right now. So if he sustains what he's got going on and they win the division, I think he wins the MVP. If they don't win the division, then he won't. I mean, I think it's simple as that.
I say no. That's a hard no, because last year Bobby Wood Jr. had a fantastic season. He was a driving force behind the Kansas City Royals. making them a threatened division championship. And he could not topple the behemoth that is Aaron Judge. All right. Judge had a 10-war season last year. I believe he's batting 360 right now. He's doing ridiculous things. He's building on the tremendous season he had last year. Judge is the clear favorite to win another Most Valuable Player award. I can't see anybody coming close. As much as it'd be cool to see another MVP in Buxton joining the likes of Morneau and Joe Mauer, I can't see him toppling that monolith that plays right field or center field sometimes for the New York Yankees. So, and plus it's the whole big market New York stigma too that fuels everybody rising for the Judge. So I can't see it. I just can't see it.
I'm not, the thing is, one thing I'll remind people, TV networks prefer the Yankees. Obviously, the Yankees have more fans, bigger market, all that stuff. But the baseball writer voting comes out of two people in each market, and I don't believe that baseball writers have any kind of New York bias. I think if Buxton was clearly the MVP, they'd vote for Buxton with no qualms at all.
Let me ask you guys this question on this topic. It's probably not going to happen that the Yankees, don't win their division. But let's say, Buck has a 30-30 kind of season and Twins win the division. The Yankees finish second. Who wins?
I would say Buxton.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Say Judge. I just can't see anyone topping Judge what he's doing right now. The Major League batting average, I believe, is 247. Judge is batting 120 points, almost above that. Plus, I haven't even broken down the slugging percentage and the on-base percentage numbers for him. He is the behemoth. He is the colossus of this generation. It's him and Ohtani. I just can't. I think it's going to be hard for other players to top on that, even if the team is successful. And I get that. In 2006, the Twins got rolling when Morneau got rolling, and it was an easy connection there. But the production that Judge is putting up, I can't see how that's going to be topped unless Buck could go 40-40. Then we can maybe have a conversation. But I don't know if 30 could be enough.
But I think that demands a definition discussion. And I've always, this has always bothered me since I was a kid. I think since I was 12 years old and was really interested in this, I'm thinking, what does the most valuable player mean? I get player of the year.
Right.
I get, you had the biggest numbers. You are the best player in the game this year. No question about it. Who was the guy that helped his team win the most? And that's what most valuable player means to me. The most valuable player now has become this guy must be the most valuable player in the league because any team would want him to have, his statistics. Okay, if that's it, but just define it. Let's just be clear. Is it a statistics game? Or does most valuable mean something that mean what it used to mean, or what the definition of valuable is to a team? If it's most valuable player as an entity that any team would want, okay, it's Judge. It's Judge, no question. If Buck were to lead, or Bobby Witt like last year, I understand why Bobby Witt didn't win last year because Judge had monster numbers and they won. Okay, so he was the most valuable player. Without Judge, the Yankees would not have won. But if and that's the question for me. It's but for this guy, they would not have won, and that's most valuable player to me.
And I agree with you. And I think that's why there are Player of the Year awards, and there is the Most Valuable Player award. And I think they should be viewed differently. And I do think that if Buxton carried this team with all of its injuries, with its low payroll, to a division title in a very good division, by the way, I think that would trump what Judge is doing, unless Judge, as you said, puts up better numbers and leads his team to a division title. He's going to be hard to beat in those cases. But if the Yankees don't win, and we're talking about value to your team, then that's where I would side with Buxton.
Yeah, I see that. At the same time, if Judge continues what he's doing right now, the argument's going to be that this is even more impressive than last year, because last year he had Juan Soto in the same lineup, and Soto's with the Mets now. And as of now, Judge is still leading. He's leading the league in WAR. He's got 26 homers already, 60 RBI. They're going to be big, godly numbers. And Roy, you are exactly right. What is the definition of most valuable? I think it gets cloudy in these arguments, and people kind of change the definition based on what they're looking at and what they believe in. So there's no clear cut hardcore. This is what an MVP should be. Everybody's view of what's most valuable is a little different, and that makes it difficult, and that potentially hurts a Byron Buxton candidacy if he does get to and surpass the 30-30 plateau.
All right. Well, we'll continue this discussion as the year goes on. We'll have a clearer picture of both players and the race later in the season. Let's get to some other interesting Twins topics and our Booze and Blues segment. First, though, I want to thank Clamshell Beach Resorts. Here's Michael Russo for Clamshell Beach Resort.
Hey, have you been dreaming of a lake cabin lifestyle with boating, fishing, and family fun in northern Minnesota? Well, lately I've thought a lot about how cool it would be to have a getaway like so many Minnesotans. And if you're like me, you probably think that owning your own lakeside getaway is beyond your budget. Well, if you think lake cabin real estate prices keep going up, well, think again. This is Russo, and I'm here to tell you there is an affordable way to enjoy a cabin lifestyle and all that goes with it. And yes, I said affordable. I founded a Clamshell Beach Resort, which is located on the Whitefish chain of 14 lakes for you and your family to enjoy. Here's how. Clamshell has lake homes that offer deeded fractional ownership, and the keywords there are deeded and fractional. You own it. Imagine having 5 weeks a year to enjoy Clamshell with its beaches, pool, and lodge that's full of kids' activities. Is golf your game? There's a great golf course right across the road. Like winter sports? Well, you can go ice fishing, cross-country skiing, or snowmobiling right out the door at Clamshell. And there's no maintenance, no grass mowing, no snow removal. It's done all for you. And you can own a share of Clamshell Beach Resort at an affordable price. To learn more about ownership opportunities at Clamshell Beach Resort, go to cottagesonwhitefish.com or contact Pat Egan at 612-220-9819. That's cottagesonwhitefish.com or Pat Egan at 612-220-9819.
Thanks to a great Minnesota company, Minnesota Masonic Charities.
When people think of the Freemasons, they often think of secret handshakes and unusual hats, and of course, the pancake breakfast. Minnesota Masonic Charities would prefer that you think about the work that they do right here in our community. Places like the Masonic Cancer Center at the University of Minnesota or the Masonic Children's Hospital and the Masonic Home in Bloomington. They are just a few examples of the important work that the Freemasons support here in Minnesota. As part of the largest fraternal organization in the world, Masons have consistently answered the call when it comes to charitable needs. We look forward to learning so much more about their many programs here in the weeks to come.
And here's Talk North Star John Krasinski for True Vision Institute.
True Vision Institute in Bloomington. I've been telling you about it for months now. Just a life-changing experience for me to go to True Vision and have LASIK surgery this summer. Everything is easier for me after having LASIK surgery. I don't have the hassles of contacts and eyeglasses. I don't have to worry about going in for annual appointments to get the eyes checked, and also to make sure that I have the latest and greatest style of glasses, and I'm not looking like some washed up 46-year-old like I am, trying to stay ahead of the trends. I don't have that anymore. I'm just going around free and clear without anything on my face. And that's all thanks to the good folks at True Vision. When you go into True Vision, you will immediately notice how welcoming, how warm, how friendly, and how knowledgeable the staff is there. They get you in, they get you checked out, they find the right vision correction options for you. And then Dr. Chu is just world class in how he helps you through the procedure, how he makes sure that he gets you taken care of, and like he did with me. And I've had zero issues with my vision since I had the surgery in July. And I just keep kicking myself and wishing I would have done it 10 years ago. So go to truevision.com and set up your consultation. Tell them the John Krasinski Show sent you, and get on with your life. Make it easier on yourself, and just get to the point where you can kick your own self in the butt and say, why didn't I do this a long time ago?
All right, LaVelle, when do you expect Keishel and Zebby Matthews back?
Zebby within a month for sure, maybe 3 weeks. Keishel, I think we're thinking late June at the beginning. I was at St. Paul checking out the Saints on Tuesday, and I couldn't get much clarity on those two guys. Although I think Zebby is starting to do some things here, but Keisha's still kind of up in the air. But I think the initial estimates was end of June, right? So that would mean in the next 10 days. But there's been no announcement of him going out on a rehab assignment or not. So the safe call for me would be by All-Star break for both those guys.
Roy,
I think it's timing out. I think it's timing out for for first game after the All-Star break. Don't you think? I mean, so let's say it's it's another 10 days and he goes out for a rehab assignment. That pretty much gets us to the All-Star break. So they're knowing the Twins and how cautious they are. I mean, if they're within a week of the break, let's say, and he's maybe they get him if he goes out for a rehab assignment and is tearing it up and he's got 7 games left before the break. Yeah, I guess maybe they would, but I'm always influenced by how cautious they are.
Right. No, that makes sense. Roy, Bailey Oberge does not look like himself. He really hasn't pitched well since we kind of discovered that he has something going on with his hip. What are you seeing out of him right now?
Yeah, and I was the one, you'll recall, we said, okay, who's going to be the pitcher that makes the most difference? And you guys said Joe Ryan, and we're right. I said Bailey Ober and was wrong. I think there's a lot of stuff going on with Bailey, a lot of things that I don't know about at all. But his location is just not good. Has not been good. And anywhere near what it was last year with any of his pitches on a consistent basis. Now he throws some, he throws a fastball in great spots, a lot of the time. He's got a couple of breaking balls. He's thrown them in good spots. His changeup's always been good. But man, usually you can tell about a pitcher when the secondary pitches, when he needs them to be competitive, are not competitive. In location wise, that's when you can tell the guy's just not right. When you don't have to throw strikes with him all the time, but you have to. He's throwing that breaking ball for the outside corner against right-handers, and missing badly. He's throwing that changeup for the outside corner to left-handers, and he's leading it over the plate or having it not be close. And as a hitter, when I walk up there, a pitch that I'm not looking for, we talk about all the time, eliminating pitches. When I see a guy throw a pitch that I don't want to have to hit if I don't have to, not even close, then I just feel better about hitting against the guy. If I see him throw me a cutter or a slider, and the umpire, could have called it a strike, calls it a ball, just because it was a ball doesn't mean I'm not very impressed with that. And I'm not seeing that as much. I'm not seeing the put away in a great spot, and I'm not seeing the intra counts, secondary pitches being just ultra competitive.
Yeah. All right. We have a lot more to talk about, but I think we're going to go ahead and go to our Booze and Blues segment. We'll have a lot of things. Next week, let's talk about let's talk about Jeffers. We'll talk about Brooks Lee. But for today, let's get to our Booze and Blues segment. One of the topics we've been hitting on lately is most underrated bands in history. Last week, Roy talked a lot about Boz Scaggs. For today, I will start off today, and I'm going to go local today. The Jayhawks. I think if anybody who loves music sat down and listened to the Jayhawks catalog, listened to them in their original iteration, and then when Gary Loris became their sole lead singer, they produced just such great stuff. And they're one of those bands that had borderline hits. They had recognizable songs, but they never had that hit that put them over the top and brought a huge audience to their catalog. But the musicianship, songwriting, the feel, it was fantastic. So I would recommend anybody go listen to some of their best hits on YouTube or something like that. And I guarantee you'll be impressed. Either of you have a nominee for today?
I talked enough about Boz Scaggs last week. I think I'll just sit quietly over here.
I do. I mean, I got to admit that I haven't listened to much Jayhawks through the years, and that's one group that maybe I can go to YouTube and kind of get a little more educated on. So underrated bands. I think I blew my wad with Foreplay and Bob James a couple of weeks ago. Just thinking about it off the top of my head, I don't know if I really have one that's really compelling to throw out there. I know the Jazz Festival is in town this week, and I've been to Mears Park before to listen to some of the performances. That's going to be a big deal this weekend. But I'll have to do some more homework on underrated bands here.
Yeah, well, I got a million, so I can always carry the segment if you guys want me to. You can also always add in a booze segment or a booze recommendation if you like when we're doing these, and I can handle the underrated bands. I will say that a good entry point for the Jayhawks, they didn't do many videos early in their career. The second iteration, when Gary Lewis is their primary lead singer, only lead singer, Big Star, the song Big Star, I would go watch their official video on YouTube. That'll give you a good entry point into what they did. And they span from, really fairly relaxed acoustical stuff to really when they rocked hard, great versatility. And of course, I will be transparent here. Mark Perlman, their bass player and vice president, gave us the right to use Jayhawks music on this podcast. You still hear their songs as kind of the intro music to some of our shows here. Gary Lewis is a friend. We used to hang out a little bit. So I'm very, but I got to know them because I love their music. So that's not, that doesn't alter my opinion or shouldn't alter your view of my opinion.
No, not at all. Not at all. And I mean, I recognize who the Jayhawks are. I just not familiar with a lot of their music. So yeah, it's educational for me.
Absolutely. Good stuff, gentlemen. I look forward to next week. Thanks for listening. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Thanks to all of the producers and people working at talknorth.com. And we will be back next week.